Thank you all for coming to the Sierra Club Dance Conservation and Outings launch event. This is like kind of a preliminary launch because eventually, in a couple months, we're going to be hiring a part-time organizer to work on this stuff. So this is kind of just a celebration of what we've been able to accomplish and what we're going to accomplish. So instead of me speaking today, I'm going to let a couple of my national staff members talk about how land conservation is really benefiting the country and how we can do that here in Vermont.
And glad to be back. So I'll just say a little bit about me really quickly and how I last worked for Sierra Club, because I think a lot of Sierra Club's strength and importance over the last 100+ years comes from meetings like this and a lot of volunteer leadership that has really led us to be as successful as we've been. And I'm from Vermont originally, grew up in Essex and Charlotte, ended up moving out to Seattle, Washington with very little idea what I wanted to do. Had it in my head that it would be a cool idea to start working for Sierra Club. When I looked them up, it turned out they're about a block and a half from where my partner and I had a new rental. So I walked down the street, started volunteering for Sierra Club. One thing led to another. I was in meetings like this. Then I was organizing in the field in rural communities, trying to get more wilderness designations passed in the Cascade Range and in the Olympic Peninsula. After that, I ended up doing a little bit more on the forest conservation space, since that's pretty much what I found myself talking about 40 hours a week, probably more. And now I'm managing our forest campaign work and working with the folks around the country doing a lot of different efforts, including Zach from Standing Trees, and stitching together a lot of our different work and having the good fortune of being able to balance two of the things that I really care most about, which is one, being able to engage some folks who really care about these things in a deep, heartfelt, personal sort of way. And then two, trying to use that as a way to leverage real ability to meet the goals that we're trying to make as far as conservation goes. And so, fortunately, in the last, year and a half, 2 years, one of the main ways that that's been occurring at the national level with the Biden administration has been pushing for mature and old growth forest protections on national forests, which has been a really exciting thing. I think, I will say, growing up in Vermont, I was under the impression that state parks, national forests, Camel Stump, Mansfield, whatever it would be, are all sort of managed in the same way, which is not the case. I think as many folks here will know. And to start to learn that the forests that are on these public lands, that especially for young people are about the only kind of thing that we can afford to purchase anymore or have in our possession anymore. These were the places that really held the most biodiversity value, held the most climate value, held the most carbon value, and as a public resource, there was this feeling of almost like civic engagement around the need to weigh in about how these are managed and how we can be doing that. And so when the Biden administration put forward this effort to conserve mature and old growth forests around the country, so on all national forests, wherever they may be, from the Green Mountain to the Olympic in Washington State, it really poses an opportunity to be making some major strides, not just in that classic conservation work that Sierra Club has been doing in the bread and butter sort of way since, we got our logo all over here, Yosemite. So like that's creation of national park, like grassroots organizing kind of thing. We're almost at a moment of doing a lot of that work again, like conservation, grassroots organizing to deliver the things that we want to see via the people that we know can do that. And so pushing on targets, Teddy Roosevelt in this example, President Biden in that current example, of making sure that they can do the right thing right now and really meet the moment. And so as we push for these mature and old growth forests, we've been able to engage people from all around the country, Sierra Club chapters from all around the country, who are calling and saying, this is what mature and old growth protection looks like in my part of the US, and this is how I want to see it fed up into a national campaign. And so Sierra Club's been able to consolidate a lot of that people power and a lot of that conservation effort to not just say we care about these places for outdoor recreation and the values of habitat and wildlife and biodiversity and the spiritual renewal that you feel when you go outside, but also because especially now, the climate value of these places is just immense. And so I've been personally excited to be a part of this effort, again, because it really does feed that piece of grassroots organizing at a scale where you can deliver these things and make a difference. The Sierra Club's been a great venue to do that. And I will say I'm really excited about this next time because we're now hiring somebody new in Vermont to pick up that mantle and do some of that work and really dig into some of the opportunities that the Sierra Club and other NGOs in this area can be partnering on to deliver some of those solutions. Our logo and our slogan, which is probably around here somewhere, of explore, enjoy, protect. I think this is probably the part of Sierra Club that gets to have the most fun in the organizing work. You know, shutting down coal plants is gratifying in the end, but conservation work is gratifying throughout. And so I'm really looking forward to being able to work with the person who's coming on and taking this over as we try and get more outings up and running, building that sense of community that Vermont does really well anyway, but that Sierra Club can also be contributing to and playing a part in, and just getting outside and having a good time and being able to turn that enjoyment and sense of place and love for a particular spot into something more around wildlife conservation. So that's our work in a nutshell. I'm consolidating about 125 years of Sierra Club conservation efforts into 3.5, 4 minutes. So that's the essence of really how the work gets done. And
thanks, Rob. Thanks, Alex. Thank you all for being here. This is really what gives me the energy to keep doing this work, is seeing when people come together like this over a shared interest, which is protecting nature and this beautiful world that we live in. So my name is Gabriel, Gabriel Silva. I always go by Gabriel or Gabe, whatever y'all want to call me. And I'm one of the senior Northeast field organizers focused on conservation. And I'm here today to talk to you about exactly that, conserving in the Northeast. So Alex told you about how this work is important across the nation, and now I want to bring it back to where we are right now, which is Vermont. So at the Sierra Club, one of our major priorities is conserving 30% of land, water, wildlife by 2030. I'm sure many of you have heard this many times by now, 30 by 30. The thing is that we can achieve that goal by just trying to conserve large swaths of land in the West, which is where a lot of our conservation work has been focused more recently. For us to really accomplish 30 by 30, it needs to be a truly national effort, and that includes the Northeast. So while the Northeast might be significantly developed in some parts under private ownership in some other parts, while it has its own unique set of challenges when it comes to conserving land, the Northeast has some incredible natural landscapes. It's got mature and oak-growth forests, it has coastlines and wetlands, and most importantly, not most importantly, but also importantly, is biodiversity. And so this is all things that deserves protection just as much as anywhere else in the country. And Vermont itself is a wealth of forested land. I mean, just look at this. If nothing else needs protection, it's this. And so I want to do whatever I can to help you all protect some of the beautiful nature that you have in your wonderful state. So at the Sierra Club, what we really believe in is a vision of a natural world that everybody can explore and enjoy, a healthy, protected world. And the key that we believe in, that we need to achieve that vision, is grassroots power. In other words, all of you who are here right now. This is extremely important. We believe this because it is the grassroots that at the end of the day are impacted the most by overdevelopment and by every decision we take to harm our natural world harms our communities. And it's our communities who are the ones who have the most to gain from protecting these natural lands. But most importantly, it's our communities, it's our people, our grassroots base that has the power to protect them in the first place. So beyond these moral considerations really giving importance to the grassroots is the fact that the grassroots power is also strategic. It's, well, powerful. So we believe that at the Sierra Club, it's one of our strengths. We have thousands, if not tens of thousands of supporters throughout the country and even here in Vermont. And so we believe that by giving a megaphone to our people, our base, our supporters around the country and in Vermont, then we can put serious pressure on all of our elected officials, even large private landowners and the industry leaders, so they can actually start taking conservation seriously. But again, we need the grassroots. We need mass participation in order to do that. As you all know, Rob Kidd, right over here, is our only staffer in Vermont. And the fact that he's been able to hold down an entire chapter by himself this long just is a testament to how much of a powerhouse he is. It's practically unmatched, really. But at the end of the day, like I said, our movement relies on mass participation, right? It's not about individuals. And so what we at National want to do is provide the support that he's due in helping to grow the volunteer base of Vermont, and so we can be able to protect and conserve even more land moving forward. And so one way that we hope to do that is by having a lot more outings. Now, who here likes outings? Right? Honestly, who doesn't? I don't think I saw any hand that didn't go up. And you go to anybody, any group of people, and you ask them who wants to just go hang out outdoors for a bit, as long as the weather is nice. Most people are going to put their hands up. So what we believe is that outings could be an extremely effective way to bring more people in. If we can get them out there and show them, look at the beauty of this land. What if we were to tell you that it's under threat, that there's whatever campaign it is we decide to do, that we show them that what you're seeing in front of you now could no longer be there tomorrow. What is it that you think we can do to stop that? What can we do to protect it? And just start asking some of those kinds of questions to people and start bringing them in, forming relationships with them, moving at the speed of trust, so we can bring people together into a family that can look at this and see it as for what it really is, which is something that needs protecting, and something that we all need to take very seriously. Now, the thing is that running outings, bringing people in, having democratically led planning processes, we can determine what the campaign plan is going to be, do all this kind of stuff, and all the other jargon that I can throw at you. All of that takes a lot of time and a lot of people. And so I think if you take anything else, if you take anything out of this meeting or this great hangout today, it's the question, what can I do to get more involved? So I hope you leave here asking yourself, how can I help? How can I help Rob make sure that he doesn't feel like he's the only one when he knows and I know that he isn't? We are all part of an incredible group of people. We all believe in the same thing. And so that's all I had. I'm just really excited to be able to be a part of this. It's been great working with Rob, and I can't wait to get to meet and know each and every one of you as we figure out how it is that we want to conserve natural lands in Vermont, not just tomorrow, but for the next generation and all of their next generations.
Thank you all for coming, because without people, this wouldn't happen. Just me in the room, Alex and nobody here, so thank you all for coming out. But then actually, what Gabriel mentioned is like, yeah, the Sierra Club is a club. It's about connecting with people. And some of the things I always talk about is, you can go into any boring church basement, go into the State House, hear every presentation about how we're doomed or how we need to do this. But the only way we're going to be able to strive is by connecting with people. So part of the thing I'm really excited about, this whole idea about outings, is about connecting with people. A few of you in the room here were at the Mount Philo hike we did a month and a half ago. There was no snow yet. And it was great. It was like this energy of people who didn't know each other were connecting and talking to people, talking about the issues. It's not all about, we need to protect this particular land today. We need to protect all these lands. And how are we going to protect all these lands? By connecting with people and instilling this ethic of land protection. So that's why this kind of outings things is really important. So I know a couple of you have been on those. Anita has helped me with organizing bike outings. That's what's going to really help us building, attracting more people to this type of movement to connect and build the lands, why we should protect these lands. So I'm not going to lecture anymore, but I'm going to encourage you all to sign up, connect with me, to then take the next step. Sierra Club has a full outings program. We can train you on how to lead outings and the best practices, first aid kits. I actually bought a bunch of first aid kits, so if you also need, I'll hand you one. But those things are what we need. We need you to help with this connecting with the community. And when we say outings, it's not hiking the top of Mount Mansfield. It's not walking in Hubbard Park. So for anybody who doesn't know, that's the former parks director of Mount Pillier, who did a phenomenal job transitioning Hubbard Park into a national resource. Well, thank you, Jeff. But that's part of it. It's all about the lands in your backyard. Not just about the top of the highest mountain. It's about where we connect with people. So that's what we all have to think about doing. So if you have an outing in your backyard you want to do, you have an outing on a landscape that you think may need protecting, let's talk. Let's do it.